Hi guys! So today we are going to be making a t-shirt from start to finish. So I'll show you how to make the text, what to do with the text, how to cut it out, and then how to press it to your shirt. So first things first, we're going to make a text box, and I have this heart. Excuse me, I just hiccuped. I have this heart here because I'm going to use this heart on the shirt, and it took me forever to find it, so I didn't want to subject you guys to search for it again. So first we are going to make a text box by clicking right over here, and I am going to be using the font called Lipstick Lettering. This looks like it is a Cricut font, so I always get asked, what font is it? Where do I get the font? So this font is Lipstick Lettering, and it is from Cricut. So the shirt I'm going to make is going to say Mom Life, not for me. I am not a mom. I'm making this for my sister-in-law. So if you're new to my channel, she has a set of twins and a now 10-year-old. So she deserves this out of anybody. So we have our text here. So now with a script font like this where the letters should be touching together, we want to make all of these letters touch together. So there's two ways you can do this. One is to just decrease the letter spacing like this, so now they're touching, or you can ungroup the entire set of text by clicking ungroup over here. So if you didn't see that, so you just select the text and click ungroup, and now you can move the letters to where you want it. Both ways work fine. It's just personal preference. If you have like a ton of text, sometimes it's a little bit easier to ungroup it and just manipulate it yourself, but completely up to you. So I'm just gonna move this a little bit. And then I'm just gonna have this heart go right underneath it. So no real right or wrong way to do this, just kind of wherever. I kind of like it a little off center. So that is basically our design. That's pretty much it. So now that we have our design how we want it, and actually I will say too, this is not my idea. This is a shirt that she found online that she liked, so I am kind of doing the version of it. So just wanted to throw that out there. So now that we have our design how we want it, we want to make this all one chunk of text, so it all cuts out together in this how it's organized here on the mat. So all right, so why does this mom look smaller than the rest of the text? So I'm just gonna make it, there we go. So what we want to do is we want to use our weld function down here, and basically that's gonna weld everything together so it all cuts out as one chunk, so nothing is loose like it is right now. So to do that, all you need to do is click, and just how I like to do it is I just highlight everything. So now all of our text, our heart, everything is selected. So now our weld button over here is lit up, so we're just gonna hit weld, and so now it's one big chunk of text. Super easy. So this is basically it. This is all we have to do for our shirt. So now we're gonna go over to make it. And most important when doing a t-shirt or using heat transfer vinyl or HTV or some kind of iron-on, you need to mirror your image. So all you need to do that is click this little mirror button over here and turn it on. And so basically you can see it's gonna make your design mirrored or backwards. And that's because when we apply it to the shirt, we're going to be flipping it over, so we're going to be pressing it, you know, right side up. So it's hard to explain, but I will walk you through it once I switch you guys to the camera. So it's much easier than it sounds, but the bottom line is make sure you mirror your text or your image. It's going to look backwards, but that is what we want. Okay, now that I have scolded you all, no, I'm just kidding. Now we can move on to actually making it. So we just hit continue, it's going to find our machine, and then we will choose our settings. Okay, so the material that we are going to use is the Everyday Iron-On here. And I know you guys can probably see I changed my, so the Mom Life is going to be in green, and then the heart is going to be in black. I had a conversation with my sister-in-law as I was doing this, and she wanted green and black, so we're good to go. So now you can see it's telling us make sure mirror is turned on and the iron-on material is faced shiny side down on the mat. So I'll switch you guys over to the camera so you can see how exactly we are going to do that. Okay, so first we are going to cut our green, and so I'm going to use my light grip blue mat for this. It is quite dirty. So we want to make sure so you can see that the HTV has this really shiny side, and then there's like this matte dull side. So we want to make sure we put the shiny side face down so the matte side is face up. That is because the shiny side, that is like the carrier sheet, and so that's why we had to mirror our design. So basically it's going to get cut out backwards out of this, and then we're going to flip it over, and that's how we press it. So so like this dull side, that's the side that's going to get pressed down to the t-shirt. So we can, oh my god, sorry guys. So we can pull out our machine. So we have our HTV scraped down relatively well. It's not perfect. So now we can load our mat, and we know that our mat is ready to be loaded when this is blinking. So we'll load our mat, and we can cut. I really should get a new mat. I'm so lazy, you guys. As long as it gets cut up here, we'll be fine. Because down here is not going to matter. I just always cut in excess just in case. Okay, so while I unload this, I just grabbed my heat press. I'm going to turn it on and get that warmed up. Alright, so we can unload our mat. Can set this aside for now. So now I'm going to cut out the heart on this black HTV. So same thing, we're going to make sure we put the shiny side down on our mat. Load our mat. And we can cut. And that one should take no time at all. So while that is cutting, I'm just gonna cut out the text. And so now this excess stuff I can just put in my archive, save it for later. All right, so we're done with our machine. So now, fun part, or one of my favorite parts, is we get to weed this. And I love weeding HTV because it is so easy. So this is Siser, I have no idea how to pronounce it, Easyweed. So and if you have a weeding tool, you can use that. I just have my scissor, or my tweezers, because I have no idea where my weeding tool is. But I like to just pull up a corner and just start pulling. So we're going to be pulling away the negative space so we're left with the actual text. All right, so now we'll weed out the middles of the letters. Okay, so we have our mom life, and now I'm just going to cut out the heart. And again, same thing, I'm just gonna pull up a corner and just pull away. Great. So we have our heart, we have our text. So I'm gonna clean up my scraps, and the heat press is ready to go, and so we will start pressing. Okay, so we are ready to press our shirt. So a couple of things. One, I know this is a little wrinkled. Don't come for me. I know it's a little bit wrinkled, but everything's gonna be fine. I just took it out of the package. We'll, make sure it's presentable for her. Secondly, you wanna make sure you spread it out as flat as possible, and you do not press any of the seams, or if there's like a fold underneath, or if some of the material is kind of like bunched up underneath, you want to make sure that you completely flatten the surface that you're going to press. The reason is because I've experienced, like, if I press a seam, for some reason it tends to burn the seam, or it just I don't know, it gives it a weird look. So just try and get it as flat as possible. Now for placement, I know there's a lot of kind of like charts out there that say like 2 inches from the collar or whatever. And I tend to kind of stick to that, but also I kind of just eyeball it and see what I kind of like. So, I just kind of place it where I think it's going to look the best. So that is not good advice, but that's how I do it. So I'm going to do something like this, and then I'll put the heart underneath once I get this mom life pressed first. And what I also like to do to see if it's like relatively centered is I'll just do a quick kind of measurement. So that's about 4 1/4, and that's about 4 1/2. So I could probably move it over just a hair. So that's about 4 1/4, and that's pretty close to 4 1/4. So the L, the tallest part, is about 2 inches from the collar. So I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll do the heart just like right down here. So it'll look cute. Okay, so now that we have everything placed where we want it, I like to put a piece of parchment paper or Teflon over it just to protect, mostly to protect the shirt, just to make sure I don't burn it. And I'm going to be using my Easy Press today. So I'm going to be pressing at 305 degrees for about 15, I'll start it off about 15 seconds. And then if we need to press it more, we will. You can 100% do this with an iron. Yes, you could do this with an iron. I've done many shirts with an iron before, so if you are doing it with an iron, you're just going to want to make sure it's on its hottest setting. You turn off the steam completely, and you give it a lot of pressure. Capiche? Okay, so I'm going to be using my heat press, so it is ready to go. We're ready to press. So I'm just going to bring it over, and I'm going to set it down and give it good pressure. Set the timer for about 15 seconds, and then I'll lift it up. So I'm pressing it down, giving it good pressure. All right, lift it up. And we'll know if we pressed it hard enough if this just comes off super easy, which it does. Yay! And you can also tell if it's pressed enough, because if you look at it, you won't be able to see it, but you can see like the fibers in the shirt. So that's another way to see if you've pressed it hard enough. Okay. So we have that. So now we're gonna press the heart. I kind of like it off center, so I hope she does too. All right, so I'm just gonna press the heart, and I'm gonna put this back over just to protect that HTV, just so I don't melt it. So I'm going to put my Teflon or parchment back on, and I'm going to give this one more press for 15 seconds, and I'm going to focus most of my pressure on the heart. I mean, that's kind of hard to do, but you know, everything's going to get really nicely pressed. All right, so now we can unpeel from there and unpeel from here. And so we have our super cute shirt. All right, guys, so that is it for our super cute mom life shirt. I hope she likes it, and if she doesn't, she's lucky, because I love her and I'll do it for her again. But anyways, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, make sure you leave me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, happy crafting.